Let me tell you something, my friend. The walls that are holding you back, they're not built by your enemies. They're not built by your neighbors. They're not even built by your circumstances. No, they are built by your own hands. Brick by brick, excuse after excuse. You see, excuses are the subtle enemies of progress. They sound so reasonable. They feel so justified. But in the end, they rob you of your future. The man says, if only I had more time. The woman says, if only I had better opportunities. The student says, if only I had more support. And while they are busy saying if only, the clock keeps ticking. The years keep passing. And the future they could have built fades quietly into regret. Success is predictable. It's not luck. It's not magic. It's hard work and discipline. And excuses are the poison that kills both. Tonight we're going to talk about it. We're going to expose it. Because if you don't kill your excuses, they will kill your future. My friend, let me paint a picture for you. There is a thief out there, but he doesn't break into your house. He doesn't steal your wallet or your car. No, he steals something far more valuable. He steals your future. His name, excuses. Now here's the problem. He doesn't look like a thief. He doesn't knock on your door wearing a mask. He comes quietly, whispers softly, sounds reasonable. You're too tired today. You've been working hard. You deserve a break. You'll start tomorrow. It's not your fault. And before you know it, one day turns into two. Two turns into a week. A week becomes a month. And the years slip through your fingers like sand. Excuses are the silent thief of dreams. I used to think that the enemy was the government. I thought it was the economy. I thought it was my upbringing. But then one day I looked in the mirror, and I saw the real enemy staring back at me. It was not the world. It was me. It was my excuses. You see, excuses give you a way out, a way to avoid responsibility. And for a moment it feels good. It feels safe. But it is a false comfort. You can't change the economy. You didn't have the same advantages as others. People like you don't succeed. Sounds convincing, doesn't it? But every time you buy one of these excuses, you sell a piece of your future. Let me give you a truth that changed my life. If you really want to do something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. That's it. That's the whole game. Excuses are the bricks that build the wall between you and your dreams. Every time you make an excuse, you add another brick. And the higher the wall grows, the harder it becomes to climb. I don't have time. You had time, but you chose Netflix. I don't have the money. But you had money for coffee, for gadgets, for entertainment. I'm too tired. But you weren't too tired to scroll on your phone for an hour. It's not about resources. It's about resourcefulness. You see, my friend, excuses are deceptive. They let you stay the same while pretending you're justified. They allow you to trade short-term comfort for long-term regret. And here's the dangerous parting. Excuses don't cost you much today, but they will cost you everything tomorrow. Every excuse you make today is a debt you'll have to pay later. You know what success really is? Success is a few simple disciplines practiced every day. And you know what failure is? Failure is simply a few errors in judgment, repeated every day. Excuses feed those errors. They nurture tech them. One man wakes up and says, I don't feel like going to the gym today. It's just one day. And then he says it again tomorrow and next week. And soon his health deteriorates. Another man says, I don't feel like going either, but I made a commitment. And he goes. And tomorrow he goes again. And over time he builds strength, health, confidence, tiny decisions, tiny excuses, tiny disciplines. That's the battle. Here's another truth. Discipline weighs ounces. Regret weighs tons. Excuses may feel light today, but regret is heavy. Heavy on your mind, heavy on your soul, heavy on your future. The question is not whether you'll face difficulty. You will. We all do. The question is, will you choose discipline or excuses? One leads to growth. The other leads to regret. So tonight, my friend, I invite you to open your eyes. Look at your life. Look at your patterns. Where are you making excuses? Where are you giving yourself permission to fail? Because once you see it, you can change it. Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. Destroy your excuses, or they will destroy your future. Now, in our next part, we'll go even deeper. We'll expose the lies that hide behind every excuse. Because the sooner you see the lie, the sooner you can reclaim your future. Let me share something that took me many years to understand. Every excuse you make, every single one, is built on a lie. Now I know that sounds harsh, but stay with me. Because the moment you see the lie, you gain the power to break free. When you say, I don't have time, the lie is this. You think time is something you find. But time is not found. Time is made. You have 24 hours. I have 24 hours. The wealthy, the poor, the educated, the uneducated, we all have the same clock. It's not time you lack. It's priority. It's discipline. Either you run the day or the day runs you. But when you say, I don't have the money, the lie is this. You believe that money creates opportunity. But in truth, opportunity creates money. People didn't become wealthy because they had money. They became wealthy because they learned to create value. They found a way to serve. They solved a problem. They learned a skill. Money follows value. When you say, I don't have support, the lie is this. You believe someone else must give you permission. You think you need applause, approval, or a cheering section. But let me tell you, you don't need everyone to believe in you. You only need one person, and that person is you. You don't wait for support. You build your foundation. And in time, others will see. But not at the beginning. At the beginning, it's often lonely. Now, sometimes people say to me, Jim, you don't understand. I've had bad breaks. Life hasn't been fair. And I say, you're right, life isn't fair. It rains on the rich and the poor. It rains on the wise and the foolish. But that's not an excuse. That's life. The question is, what will you do now? The same wind blows on us all. The difference is in the set of the sail. You see, excuses feel good in the short term because they protect your ego. They allow you to say, it's not my fault. But here's the lie. While excuses may protect your feelings today, they will destroy your results tomorrow. The man says, I don't feel motivated, but motivation is not required. Discipline is. The woman says, I'll start when I feel ready. But readiness is not a feeling, it's a decision. Here's a powerful truth I want you to remember. You can make progress, or you can make excuses, but you can't make both. And now why do we believe these lies? Because they're comfortable. Because they feel safe. Because if we accept the lie, we don't have to change. Change is scary. Change requires effort. Change means confronting your weaknesses. So instead, we wrap ourselves in excuses, like a blanket that keeps us warm, but slowly suffocates us. I once heard it said, an excuse is nothing more than a well-planned lie you tell yourself to better about doing nothing. And the more you tell it, the more you believe it. Until one day, you can no longer see the truth at all. But here's the good news: the moment you recognize the lie, you can break it. The moment you say, no more stories, no more justification, only responsibility. That's the moment your life changes. Take full responsibility for everything you are and everything you will become. You don't need to wait for better circumstances. You don't need someone to rescue you. You don't need permission. You only need to see the lie and reject it. Because the truth is this: the same walls that block your progress today are built from the excuses you accepted yesterday. Tear them down. One honest decision at a time, one discipline at a time. Now, my friend, in the next part, we'll go even further. Because while excuses may start small, over time, they grow. They compound. And that is where most people lose everything. Here's where most people go wrong. They believe that one excuse, one small compromise, one little delay won't make much difference. I'll skip the gym just today. I won't make those calls today. I'll put off that goal until next month. And here's the danger, they're right. One small excuse won't ruin your life today. But it starts something. It plants a seed. And if you're not careful, that seed grows into a forest. You see, success and failure are not dramatic events. They don't happen overnight. They are the results of small, daily decisions repeated over time. Failure is simply a few errors in judgment, repeated every day. That's how life works. Let me give you an example. The man says, "I'll start saving next year when I make more money." The lie feels harmless. After all, it's just a delay. But next year becomes the year after, and the year after that. And now 10 years have passed and he has nothing. The woman says, "I'll work on my health after this busy season." But one season leads to another, and suddenly her energy fades, her strength declines, her health deteriorates. One small excuse, one small compromise, but repeated, it compounds. Now here's the truth most people never see. The compound effect works both ways, for you or against you. If you practice small disciplines daily, they accumulate into massive success. If you practice small excuses daily, they accumulate into massive failure. You don't become broke overnight. You don't become overweight overnight. You don't lose your dreams overnight. It happens gradually, so slowly that you don't even feel it, like a boat drifting out to sea. You don't notice until you can no longer see the shore. Let me share one of the most dangerous phrases in the world. Just this once. Just this once, I'll skip my routine. Just this once, I'll break my budget. Just this once, I won't study. But just this once becomes twice, then 3 times, and soon it becomes who you are. Now some people say, "Jim, it's hard to stay disciplined every day." Yes, it is, but it's much harder to carry the weight of regret. Discipline weighs ounces. Regret weighs tons. The man who chooses discipline today builds strength tomorrow. The man who chooses excuses today builds weakness tomorrow. It's that simple. You know, the same principle applies to your thinking. Every time you make an excuse, you train your mind. You teach yourself that comfort is more important than growth, that avoidance is better than responsibility, that weakness is acceptable. And that pattern becomes your identity. You start saying things like, "I'm just not disciplined. That's just who I am." No, my friend, that's not who you are. That's who you've become, through repeated excuses. But here's the good news. The compound effect can work for you just as powerfully. Small disciplines practiced daily can transform your life. 10 minutes of reading each day compounds into wisdom. Saving a little each month compounds into wealth. 1 hour of exercise each morning compounds into health. 1 act of courage each day compounds into confidence. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. And the man who starts today, though his results seem small, over time, he becomes unstoppable. Why? Because while others are making excuses, he is building momentum. And momentum is a powerful thing. Here's a simple formula: excuses, delay, regression, failure. Disciplines, consistency, growth, success. Both are predictable. Both are a choice. You don't need to make huge changes overnight. You simply need to stop the excuses and start the disciplines. One small choice. Every day, repeat it. That's how lives change. My friend, the future is not something you stumble into. It's something you build, brick by brick, habit by habit, decision by decision. Don't join the easy crowd. You won't grow. Go where the expectations are high, where the demands are high, because if you don't break the pattern of excuses, they will build a prison around your potential. A quiet prison, invisible walls, and one day you'll wake up and wonder where your life went. Now, in our next part, we will unlock the antidote, the cure to the poison of excuses. One word: responsibility. That's where freedom begins. My friend, we've talked about excuses. We've talked about the lies behind them. We've seen how they compound now. Let's talk about the cure. Responsibility. Responsibility is not a burden. It's not something heavy to carry. It's not punishment. It's freedom. Because the moment you take full responsibility, you take back control. You see, most people live in the waiting room of life, waiting for someone to rescue them, waiting for better circumstances, waiting for luck, waiting for the economy to improve, waiting for someone to notice their potential. Waiting is the biggest killer of dreams, but the truth is, no one is coming. No one is coming to hand you success. No one is coming to fix your problems. No one is coming to live your life for you. You have to do it. You have to take responsibility. Now let me tell you something important. Responsibility is empowering. The moment you say, "It's up to me," that's the moment you become powerful. Because if it's up to someone else, you're helpless. But if it's up to you, you can change it. Take full responsibility for your life. Accept where you are. Accept how you got here. And then go to work to change it. That's the starting point. People say, "But Jim, what about my past? What about what's been done to me?" And I say, you're right. Some things weren't your fault. But here's the true thing. It may not be your fault, but it is your responsibility. You didn't choose your childhood. You didn't choose some of your hardships. But you do choose how you respond. You do choose whether you rise or stay down. It's not what happens that determines your life's future. It's what you do about what happens. Life is full of unfairness. Life is full of challenges. But responsibility says, I refuse to be a victim. I choose to be the architect of my life. And now let me show you how powerful this is. The man who blames gives away his power. The man who takes responsibility gains power. The first man says, I'm broke because of the government. I'm unhealthy because of my genetics. I'm stuck because of my boss. But the second man says, regardless of the government, I will build wealth. Regardless of my genetics, I will discipline my body. Regardless of my boss, I will develop my skills. And because he says that, he grows, he improves, he succeeds. Responsibility is not about blaming yourself. It's about owning your ability to respond. Responsibility, the ability to respond. That's where your power is. Now listen carefully. The day you graduate from blaming is the day you graduate into success. Excuses are rooted in blame. Responsibility is rooted in ownership. Excuses look outward. Responsibility looks inward. Excuses focus on circumstances. Responsibility focuses on choices. You might say, Jim, it's hard to take responsibility for everything. Yes, it is. That's why most people don't do it. That's why most people stay average. That's why most people stay frustrated. Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. Taking responsibility means saying, if my finances are a mess, I fix it. If my relationships are struggling, I work on them. If my skills are lacking, I study. If my health is declining, I change my habits. And if you don't know how, you learn. Because no one is more invested in your future than you. Now, here's the beauty of responsibility. It doesn't require perfection. It requires honesty. You don't have to know everything. You simply have to say, I'm in charge. I will find a way. That's what separates those who succeed from those who don't. My friend, responsibility is not a one-time decision. It's a daily habit. Every morning you wake up, you have two choices, excuse or responsibility. One leads to regret. One leads to freedom. Remember, success is not something you pursue. Success is something you attract by the person you become. And you become that person by taking responsibility every single day. Now, my friend, we've come to the final step. Because once you reject excuses, once you embrace responsibility, something beautiful happens. You step into your future. A future filled with possibilities, growth, and rewards. That's what we'll explore next. My friend, let's pause for a moment and imagine. Imagine your life with no more excuses, no more blaming, no more waiting, no more delays. Just responsibility, just discipline, just daily progress. What does that life look like? I'll tell you what it looks like: freedom. The freedom to wake up in the morning with energy. The freedom to pursue your goals without hesitation. The freedom to create, the freedom to choose. The freedom to enjoy the rewards of your labor. You see, when you stop making excuses, you begin building your confidence. You build momentum. You build strength. You build a reputation. With others, yes, but most importantly with yourself. The greatest form of self-respect is self-discipline. Because every day you follow through on your commitments, you prove to yourself that you can be trusted. And trust is the foundation of confidence. When you stop making excuses, something amazing happens. Small disciplines begin to stack. Tiny habits begin to multiply. Momentum begins to build. And soon what was once difficult becomes easy. What was once heavy becomes light. What was once impossible becomes inevitable. The pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. The man who chooses discipline may sweat for a season, but soon he enjoys the harvest. The man who chooses excuses feels relief today, but pays for it every day after. Now let's be honest. Life will still bring challenges. There will still be setbacks. There will still be surprises you didn't plan for. But here's the difference. The man who has mastered responsibility is not shaken. He says, whatever comes, I will handle it. I will adjust. I will grow. Don't wish for fewer problems. Wish for more skills. Because you can handle anything if you become strong enough. My friend, when you stop making excuses, you don't become perfect. You become better. You become stronger. You become wiser. You start to see life for what it truly is, a set of daily choices. Not luck, not fate, not chance. Choices. Now here's what's beautiful. When you stop making excuses, you start inspiring others. Your children will see your example. Your coworkers will notice your discipline. Your friends will be encouraged by your growth. Because success leaves clues. And your life becomes a message. If I can do it, so can you. You see, my friend, the future you desire is not far away. It's right there, on the other side of your excuses. Every goal you have, every dream you've imagined, every skill you wish to master, every life you want to create it, it's waiting for one thing. For you to stop waiting. Let me leave you with one simple formula: eliminate excuses. Embrace responsibility. Apply daily disciplines. Reap the rewards. That's it. Now some people will say, Jim, that sounds too simple. Yes, it is simple. But simple doesn't mean easy. What's easy to do is also easy not to do. It's easy to read for 30 minutes a day. It's easy to skip it. It's easy to save a small portion of your income. It's easy to spend it. It's easy to exercise for 20 minutes. It's easy to stay on the couch. And that's where lives are made or broken. In those simple choices, you don't need to climb the mountain in one day. You only need to take one step today. Then another tomorrow, and another the next day. And as the days stack, the mountain gets smaller, your confidence gets bigger. And soon, you stand on the summit, looking back at the old you, grateful that you made the decision to stop making excuses. My friend, life is not designed to give you what you need. Life is designed to give you what you deserve. Deserve by what? By the disciplines you practice, by the responsibility you accept, by the excuses you reject. You have one life. Don't spend it in the prison of excuses. Live free, live fully, live responsibly, because that is where the good life begins.